Hey guys, welcome back. This is Clayton53Dan back here again with another what if. Yeah, if you haven't heard, I'm making a what if deku was cheated on. That's going great. Now with Call of Duty, this is gonna get really good because, well, I better just go ahead and get into the story. Where we last left off, Deku, of course, not doing the UA Sports Festival because of still being traumatized of what he had to face in the entrance exam. And the US government, and of course Japan's okay with this, has asked Deku to go ahead and train some people, because, I don't know, they had a break or some crap, I don't care. And at this time, Deku, well, Stain's just been taken care of because of Todoroki. I don't care about Stain at all. But yeah, Deku is sent over to the United States to meet up with his 3 new recruits. One name is, if I remember, Jack, codename GeoJumper001. Then we have another dude named Billy. I want to say, yeah. And then we have Billy's girlfriend, Krista. The reason those two joined was actually because their parents were Billy's parents were murdered by a group of assassins. They were going after some rich people, and his parents got in the way because at the time his parents were having a meeting with the company of, I'm gonna say, just a random company of like producing like different type of parts for cars and hero supplies, and about the mix-ups and stuff like that in each other's companies. As they would kill, as Krista, of course, her dad left, and her mother, being unsatisfied with her quirk and her power, disowned her, and she was left out there. And whenever they found each other, they finally started dating. And yes, Deku is still not having a ship in this, because I would like having Deku with no ship. Well, I've been thinking. But, yeah, no ship. I just like it like how it is. Deku say, alright, maggots, I am your trainer for today. Or however you want to think. My name is Captain Deku. Or you can call me, well, just call me Deku. Was trying to become a hero, but I had to go ahead and put that on pause to train you idiots. As they're all looking at him like, okay, so we've already been through the basic training. What else do we have to do? Says you have to go through more advanced training. I will teach you what you guys have to do to advance onto the battlefield with me. Alright, Geo, you're up first. Says, alright, sir, as he basically does a aim test. Says, alright, shoot the target 20 times. Try not to miss the bullseye. Geo fires, and his aim is 50-50. Says, alright, Billy, you're up next. Billy steps up and starts shooting the target. It's a 75. Says, good. Better than your other person. As Krista steps up and goes into the 30s, like not barely hitting it that much, as says, okay, you need more improvement on your aim. As then when it came to strength the strength test, Geo went ahead and dominated that, getting a perfect score. As Billy would get a 50 and Krista actually being just 45%, which is not bad, but it's only 5% worse than Billy's. As it came to speed, as Geo came, it basically went, Krista came first, then Billy, then Geo. As he's running over multiple numbers of like grip, tactics, and like multiple maneuvers, as he's thinking that this is a pretty good squad, as he starts training them more and more, working them harder and harder. They've all upped their percentages up 25%, and some that are at 100 have already, well, moved, like, have gotten better at how they use that strength to their advantage, and speed, and their smarts. As Deku says, alright, you guys will be heading out with me. Our next stops are going to be the Middle East to deal with trade and distribution between Iraq, Siberia, Iraq, England, not England, it's Egypt and Saudi Arabia. No, not Saudi Arabia, it's, Iran. Iraq and Iran and Egypt. Says, sir, yes, sir. I said, good. Now move, privates. As they board the plane, as Deku gets on and taps, basically, like pet it, like slapping it on the tail. So, alright, let's move. As the plane starts its engines and he gets on as it takes off. As they're asking, are they going to have any backup? As, of course, Dick says, yeah, we'll have some backup. Well, you're looking at the backup already, technically, but we'll have air support if we need it. As they're, like, questioning, like, okay. And I think this is, like, where I have to say, like, what their quirks are. Okay. Geo's quirk, or Jack, in this case. His quirk is steel. And what he can do with his steel quirk is basically steel armor plating will come around his body and protect him, and it can be in between an inch thick to 4 inches thick, being like really goddamn thick. Now, Chris's quirk is, I'm gonna say, tracker. And she was really good at, like, following, like, where the person went. So, whenever she got better at her aim, she could easily hit people now. Billy's quirk, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say weapon supplier. Basically, what he can do is supply any caliber round out of his, basically makes it appear out of his hand. And of course, it uses up some body fat, but not much. As when it comes to creating guns, he can make small arms, being between a Glock, a 1911, and a, I'm gonna say a .45 Magnum. As, of course, being a specialty, he can create any type of bullet, but he can only create small arms, which is the drawback. He can create all arms. Like SMGs, like some SMGs that are small enough can be created, but not all guns. Now, Deku and his team are heading out as they land in the Middle East, as the trade distribution between Iran, Iraq, and Egypt has not been going well. And there's been terrorists at the border, at some of the border lines in trade, which has been holding them back. As Deku and Geo take one side, as Krista and Billy take another. As they're going in and they're stopping the terrorist. And some are coming out like bombs duct taped to themselves, as they shoot at them as they don't detonate, because what they've done, or what Deku has done, is not lace their bullets, but he's trained them so much to not hit vital areas that will make them stop moving, but hit the wires that are correct on each bomb. Because he's learned a lot about which wire diffuses the bomb, which is easy for him. As they are like freaking like pin perfect accuracy. And with this, Billy, Geo, Deku, and Krista have wiped out the terrorist and are now all being put in a truck to state prison or government prison, as their next stop's in between Iran and Iraq, because there's another group of terrorists invading there. As this one's a bit harder, being that it has a actual armored vehicle. Deku, of course, seeing armored vehicles is not phased that much, as he would ask Billy, Krista, and Geo to cover him, as he would go in and absolutely just uppercut the armored vehicle. And it's not a tank like an M1 Abrams or anything like that. It's basically, it has tracks like an M1 Abrams, but it has a 22 millimeter on top of, as a 22 millimeter cannon on top of it. So it's still very powerful, as it's basically just pushed over. As the terrorists, of course, are all shot. As they've been trying to keep their bloodshed on the down end, but it's kind of hard. The last place they only had 5 people that gave up and willing to surrender. As this time they only had about 10, which was a very big improvement, but not much, because there was about 30 or 35 there. As they would drive and go ahead and make the lines of trade between the countries a lot easier after the terrorists were gone, and Deku gets another report saying they're needed for some political stuff in Russia, being they're like trying to start something, as in Siberia people are getting angry and crap, and they have to go down there and stop like the gunfire and stuff, as there's been bombings happening. As even though the U.S. would never like do this, I'm just saying like they did, like they're friends in this, like U.S. and Russia and friends, like best friends. So what they do is they go ahead and, well, do what they do. They capture a leader and take him to Moscow on a train. They've already had to exterminate all their members in there, as he brings the leader to Putin, as Putin thanks Deku and his squad for helping out Mother Russia. As they salute, and Putin salutes back, saying thank you for your good time. And what would Putin say? I don't know, what would Putin say? Say, Let Russia guide you in your darkest hour. That he's like very like Russian when you think of Russia. Well, bears and Putin and vodka. That's when you think of Russia. As of course they're called back because politicians and people are having a riot now. As they get to the Capitol in Washington D.C., they see that police and people are all surrounding the Capitol as there's like rioters, like Donald Trump supporters trying to get in. And Deku, Geo, and Billy and Krista are just trying to keep everyone out of the Capitol as whenever they start going up the stairs and trying to break into the middle Capitol room, this is when Deku just starts moving them all out as he points his weapon up in the air and shoots it once. And he points it at him saying, "Get back or else you will be shot on sight for trespassing." As the rest of the team are looking like, really? Like, we don't have to take it this far, as says they're trying to implode on the U.S. Capitol. I don't think this is what our founding fathers will want us to do, but still, I don't know what happened, so let's go ahead and keep this under government protection. As they're trying to push through him, as Deku's finally had enough, as he starts lighting him up, as I know this is like bad for like YouTube, like, oh, he's talking about politics. Now, he does not have like real actual ammo. The ammo they're given because of the Trump or whatever supporters, I don't care, it's tranquilizer darts. They have tranquilizer darts to make sure the people are put into captivity. Yes, he starts lighting them up with tranquilizer darts. And all this stuff is being injected into the host body and instantly knocking them out, as some are being arrested, some are being moved out of the capital as daylight breaks and they're allowed to leave back to Japan. Now, I don't know how YouTube is going to like react to like, oh, it's politics. This is what we're doing. I'm making him fine. I'm making him like, protect the government state building. I don't care who's in charge right now of president. I really don't care. Just let the guy in office run, and if he doesn't do good, let him out. I don't care. So yeah, Deku has to leave. Well, yeah, Deku promotes Geo to major, and no, Geo was pulled up to I'm gonna say vice captain, and Billy and Krista were promoted up to majors. As they're all like celebrating, as Deku just does not care, as he says, "Alright, you listen to me and listen to me close. I'm gonna have to leave back because I have to go ahead and keep the entrance exam or whatever thing done. And whenever the U.S. needs me, I'll be on call. If you need someone to talk to, Geo, just call me. We'll talk." As he says, "Thanks, dude." As they all give their hugs goodbye, as Deku flies off back to Japan. Now, this is where the, of course, the training camp's gonna happen. So, yeah. Deku, of course, is put into the training camp. Now, the Wild Pussycats want to see how good he is. So, what they do is they make their own, like, stone, like, fortresses and stuff like this. He's still put with the class, just it's a lot harder now. Well, it's the exact same, because it's already hard to go through those, like, giant stone golems. As Deku, Todoroki, and Bakugo are fighting these, as Deku's having an easier time than Bakugo and Todoroki, because he's just finding weak points and hitting them and knocking them down. being either near the neck or, I don't know, near the shins, so they fall over and he can easily just whack them on the head and kills them. Well, I guess not kill, more like undoes the forming, not really kill, but makes the rocks that are not living, that makes them not animate anymore. Yeah, because I don't want to get demonetized or whatever. Even though I've already talked about politics, so yeah. I get a comment from Putin. Ah, yes. Thank you. I'd be like, oh my god, Putin. Like, meeting with the US president, it's like, okay, so I don't care. Meeting with Putin is like meeting someone that is, has power. I'm sorry, like, America, even though, like, I live in America, like, getting a comment for Putin, or at least him, like, talking to you, is just like, yes. Sharing a shot with him is like a fucking privilege. I just said, yeah, I don't think it's gonna get demonetized. This is gonna get demonetized. Oh, wait, no, it's after 30 seconds. Wait, it might. I don't know. So, I haven't talked about anything bad, I think. Except maybe politics. I don't know. So, yeah, back to Japan, and yeah. So, whenever Deku in the class gets there, of course, there's Koda. Deku walks over to Koda saying, "Hey there, little boy. How are you?" And as he tries to shake his hand, as Koda winds up a punch, the punch Deku as his hands instantly stopped as he looks up at Deku, and Deku looks down saying, "Look here, kid. That's not nice to punch people right where they don't want to be hit. And yes, I'm saying right in the groin. You know, the jewels, the ruby and sapphire. Yeah." As he says, "If you want to try this again, at least try to have some practice. Try to make sure you actually get past some defense before you try to punch someone." As he spins Koda around and tells him to go ahead and move on, as the Wild Pussycats are like surprised that number one, Koda just got told off, and number two, they were fine with this because he's just parenting him. As of course, they had to make their own food and stuff like that, as the villains would get there and take Bakugo. Now, with Muscular would be just instantly shot on sight. I'm sorry, there's like no other way how I could do this. Like, there's a dude about to kill a kid. He's gonna be shot on sight. I don't know what I could say or do, but that's just like something I would know what would happen. Now, the rest of them would also get hurt from the gunfire from Deku, as they would have to back off to their base, already capturing Bakugo. Now, All For One and All Might. Now, I know like the next part's gonna be like the last part, but I still love this, so I'm not gonna do a redo. I'm probably going to just leave it like this. I love it already. I don't know how long this is, but if it is, it's not even long enough. Oh my god. My bad if I'm like taking like multiple pauses or like whatever. I'm just like really kind of tired, but I'm not. So yeah. Here. All For One and All Might, of course, fight it out. As now it's going to be for the All For One raid. Now, I just have to skip to the raid itself. Now, because of the walls moving around, Deku had to punch through them. Just punching through him like an absolute gangsta. Just left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook. And whenever Toga tried to go ahead and take some of his blood, he just went ahead and stuck a knife through, well, slashed a knife at her. And she backed off, as he got to was it Lemillion or Monoma, or it's Mokama, or I forgot his name. I just don't remember his hero name is Lemillion, and that he got shot by the basically tranquilizing the antidote to like cure quirks or whatever reverse quirk like thing. I don't care. As he loses quirk, as Deku looks at Overhaul, he says, "Damn you!" As Overhaul, of course, blocks with his stone and is trying to keep Deku's trying to keep Eri safe as ammunition is flying at All For One, not All For One, Overhaul. And with this, Overhaul is really trying to keep this rock up as Deku uses one of the custom bullets. Was it? Yeah, it was Billy made. Uses one of the custom bullets that Billy made and is a deflector bullet. He hits the wall and deflects it off multiple times and then hits Overhaul straight in the back of his head, instantly dropping him onto the ground as Deku picks up Sir Night-Eye, Lemillion, and Eri. As Eri looks up at the man with all this weaponry and helping out them, as he takes Eri up there with Lemillion, as Sir Night-Eye is really badly hurt and he is still gonna die like in the anime. He put bandages over him, but there's nothing else he knows he can do. Lemillion is also taken to the hospital for treatment, and after that, he has no quirk, and Sir Night-Eye has now told Mirio, told Mirio that he will get his quirk back in the future. He says thank you, and Eri finally says thank you to Sir Night-Eye for helping her out, helping to save her. As he says, no problem, sweetie. Just try to live the best life you can. As the line goes straight as he just passes away. As they're all crying, of course. They're all tearing up. And I know this is like a lot faster part than like I would usually do, and this is like being like, oh, it's your final, like this is my first time doing like a Call of Duty and cheated on. And I really not cheated on, Call of Duty. Not cheated on. Cheated on's gonna take a lot longer. Call of Duty is like Call of Duty. It's just gunfire, gunfire, and gunfire. If I wanted to add in zombies, I would have like not even do anything. But yeah, I think that's actually where I want to end it off, because I'm satisfied with that ending. Just a sad ending, but they're all still happy that they're all living. So yeah, like, subscribe if you want to, and bye.